What's up, guys, and good morning. Here we go again. Today we are in the Blue Eagle. It's day 3 of the wave spell. It's the Electric Eagle. Beautiful blue sunrise, 7 o'clock. So, if we like to play the wave spell game, we're in the Skywalker wave spell. So, for me, the intention of this wave spell is what's the truth of myself? What's the truth of reality? Is there anything I need to know to make my goals or dreams come true? Yesterday, we got the download of if you bang out 300 comments a day, you will probably get at least 2 clients a month. That's what the universe told me. Probably that's on pace to get 3 clients in a month, at least. Right now when you're brand new. So I'm telling you this, guys. If you bang out 300 comments, like you comment on 300 posts, you make your best effort on, that's a lot of fucking comments. You could probably get 2 or 3 clients at that level of output. Now, as far as implementing and having the focus and the accountability and the consistency, that's what I help you with. And then also closing on the calls. And then also, how do I even activate my members? How do I even talk to them? What do I say? That's what I charge you for. Okay. But if you're self-motivated, you probably don't even need a coach. Just bang out 300 comments a day. You'll probably get at least 1 client. Are you willing to do that? You say, well, I don't have enough time to do that because I have another job. Well, then try to do 150, cut it in half. Minimum, guys, you should be doing 100 outbound comments a day. Minimum. And try to make content, video content, whatever. Okay. Try to make posts in other groups that you like. Try to get the post pinned. Try to be relevant. So I only went through about 2,000 comments yesterday. And so I commented on about 15% of the posts that I went through. I gave this one lady a bunch of comments in her group, but I could tell she has a block in her solar plexus chakra. Like I could feel it. I could feel an intense block in her solar plexus. And if I have to grade her on a 1 to 10, I give her about a 6. I can't really work with the 6 unless the 6 becomes a 7. And what I mean by that, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's your commitment to success and your desire to succeed on school. It just wasn't there. It would require so much energy from me just to get her to a 7. So I threw out an offer, but I don't know, she's just being annoying, like acting like she's interested, but then being very flaky, then being very non-committal, and then all like wishy-washy. Well, I think maybe our visions are different. I think maybe I want to do something else. And I'm like, you don't know what you fucking want. Like, you don't know what you want. I guarantee you in about 1 or 2 years, you're probably going to be in the exact same fucking spot you're in now. I guarantee you, you don't have the inner drive to fucking, go for it. You don't, So anyways, you're not allowed to be in my group if you are like just leeching on my energy. They always want the free energy, right? They don't want to pay for it. In sales, you have to do a pullback. Okay, well then it's time for you to leave, Good luck. I wish you the best in your life, but your group, I left her group. Your group to me just feels dead. It feels like everybody in there is stuck. And they constantly keep saying this shit. They keep saying, resting and no pressure and resting and, take it at your own time. And then they say, well, New Year's resolution, what's your commitment to success? Do you know what I mean? It's like these kinds of people in my mind, if you have a mathematical equation, it's y equals 1 divided by x. It's a hyperbola. It's two concave or convex, it's an inverse equation. Like you have 2 forces in your mind. One of them is lazy as fuck and doesn't actually want to change, doesn't actually want to commit to anything, does not want to work, and build a school business. the other version does, and they're fighting each other constantly. It's like, bro, I can't really help people like this. I know several people who are like this. If you are unified and you really fucking want to make a change and you really want to grow your business, I'm looking for sevens, eights, nines, and tens. A seven is going to want to do it. They're going to want to do it. A six, they're going to say they want to do it, but they don't actually want to do it. And she's a six. You know, you say you want it. You say you want vision. You say you want clarity. But I don't think she actually does. She wants to feel like she's moving towards something, but she's not actually moving towards anything. You're kind of like lying to yourself in your head. I know that's what she's doing. I went through like 300 of the posts, all 300 of the posts in her group. And I keep feeling that energy. It's like pretending that you're going to like do something big, but then never actually doing it. And then you say, well, I'm just not sure what it is yet, but eventually I'll figure it out. But then you spend no time trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? It's someone that wants to talk about success and act like they're. I used to be like that. I was a six. I was a one. I was like, didn't even want to live anymore. That's like a 1 out of 10. Like I didn't even value my life. I was drugged out and homeless. That was like a 1. Finally was like functionally homeless. That was like a 2. A 3 was like finally got my shit together, but I was like toxic and just hateful. I was a 3. 4, I finally started just like playing personal development. That was the only thing that I could do. Like I would just be playing like online Monopoly and Risk like games, but at least I was playing like Tony Robbins like content. You know, that was a 4 is like perhaps they're finally starting to like listen to content. They're wanting to feed on energy, but that's literally the very best they can do. You don't have to attack these people, but all they can do is just feed on energy, right? Try to become the next number up the chain. A 5 out of 10, that was me. Like I was working 2 jobs. I was working overtime. I was wanting to make money. I got a real estate license. Like I was finally starting to commit as like a 5, as like a 6. That's when I was like, honestly, it took me a really long time, guys, to get started. Like I didn't even become a 6 out of 10 until I was like 24, 25. I went into sales and I finally started succeeding. But a 6 out of 10, which is where I think that other lady is like, I was working these sales jobs and I was always complaining about them. Do you know what I mean? Like I was starting to become motivated. I was reading a lot of books. I've always been like pretty fit, but I was stuck in comfort and I was afraid to truly go for it and have my own businesses. That's when I became a 7. When I finally just said, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to have my own business and I'm going to succeed, right? I became an 8. I was just failing, but at least I was going for it. But I was failing. An 8 is where I really had to turn up my momentum. Do you know what I mean? An 8 is when I really had to fucking just go, like, push myself to the maximum. That's when I finally became an 8. That's when I finally started succeeding. A 9 out of 10 is when I did a 10K day. I did a 5-figure sales day in my first business, and I felt like I was rich. I was like, holy shit, I feel fucking rich right now. A 9, I got the crown of success. And then 10, I'm at a 10 now. 10 is if you can sustain 9 for a very long time, then it becomes a 10. But if you start taking time off, if you start coasting, it's so easy for the 10 to slip all the way back down to like a 6. I did that in my last business. I was rolling a 9 or a 10, and I did another PR, way more than a 4-figure day, like $1,400 in a day. That was my best in my next business. But I didn't want to keep it at a 9. I didn't want to keep it at a 10. Had I kept either of those 2 businesses, had I kept going at a 10, I probably would have pulled in 30, 40, maybe even a 50K month. I probably would have. But the moment that I hit 10 and I manifested that PR, that huge number, I immediately just I was exhausted and burnt out and just kind of lonely and depressed. And I slipped back to honestly like a 7. Once you build your business up, you can lower back down to a 7. This is what I think people don't understand either if you never had a business. Like you can go back to a 7 and you can keep it going. You can keep a business going at a 7 and it'll still pay you full time. You don't have to be like 8, 9, 10 to keep a business going. Like I slowed down all the way. Honestly, guys, in my moving business, I probably slowed all the way down to like a 5. If I'm honest, I really took a lot. Dude, I could make enough to pay my bills in a week and I would take 3 weeks off. I'm not even joking. And I'm like, I probably should be more consistent. I probably should keep this going, but it's nice that I can just fucking do this. I took almost the entire month of December off. So, I was just feeling a lot of heaviness. And so, sometimes you do need to take some time off though, so that you can prepare yourself to go back to a 10. I've been hitting 10s every day. I've been going nonstop this entire past month. I have been pushing constant 9s and 10s. Do you know what I mean? So, what does it take for you to produce at a 10 out of 10 level? We're in Electric Eagle, so it's day 3. Day 3, the energy begins to form a triangle and it's accelerating. Day 3 in the Mayan wave spell is about acceleration. Every 13 days, a new wave is created on day 1. So day 1 was 2 days ago, and it was like, what am I trying to figure out? What's the higher truth here? What am I exploring? What am I figuring out about myself, right? Yesterday was day 2. It divides, it polarizes. So it was in Wizard. Wizard, I think, gives you like an intuition, and Wizard kind of gives you an enhanced cognition, kind of a clairvoyance. I always feel more intelligent on Wizard Day. So that's when I got the download. You really should be doing 300 comments a day. I stopped tracking it for a while. I was getting 2 to 5 members a day, and I stopped tracking. I slipped a little bit, but so 2 polarized and just said, if you really want to hit your goals quickly, you need to do 300 outbound comments a day. Try to do that every single day for the entire month of February, 28 days. You probably will manifest 2 or 3 clients from that. Okay. So day 3, now organizing and energizing in the Eagle. The Eagle is a very perceptive sign, kind of like the Wizard. They both have a higher intelligence, but the Eagle is more about process, having the eagle eye, understanding the process of all of this. So I think on Eagle Day, you need to think in the terms of your ideal client, ideal client avatar or ideal client profile. My ideal client is a 7 minimum. You know what I mean? Because less than a 7, they're gonna rely on you for motivation and momentum. Levels, what I'm trying to say is the scale that I'm defining is your personal motivation and your personal momentum to succeed. I don't really want to coach somebody who's a 6 or less, because they're going to need my energy. They're not producing their own momentum at a high enough level to actually succeed. I want to help people who are actually going to succeed. So if their momentum is less than a 7, they're going to need me to take them to a 7, but the moment the coaching ends, and even if I get them a client, they're going to immediately plummet, and they're going to, because they will be relying on my energy to get them to a 7. I would rather you be able to put yourself at 7 out of 10 motivation, 7 out of 10 momentum. That's someone that is committed to success. 6 is going to be like, well, I don't know, maybe this would be fun, but I just don't know. That lady was a 6. I just don't know. And you can convince them, and you can get the sale, but then it's going to be annoying because every call, it's having to motivate them. Did you hit your numbers? No, not really. Well, do you still want to do this? I don't know. They're going to ask for their money back. Well, maybe this just wasn't the right, it's just going to be so annoying because it's going to piss you off as the coach. Whatever your high ticket offer is, if they're not a 7 out of 10, bought into your vision or self excited, excited to do this, you're gonna have to be like dragging them. Do you know what I mean? And you're gonna resent it. They're just not gonna take it that seriously. I did have a client who was about a 5 or a 6, and I sold him a lower price amount of coaching, but dude, he just did not want to fucking work, man. And he did not want to, like, I built him a custom sales system for him to succeed on Facebook, you know, to get clients for himself. And he refused to tell me what his daily numbers were. I post my daily stats every day, guys. Number of posts that I go through. I go through 30 posts at a time because on a laptop or computer, you have 30 posts per page. So all you have to do is just filter by unread posts. You know, if you read it, decide, am I going to comment on this or not? And about 3 or 4, maybe even 3 to 5, just depending on how interesting, the posts are, I will respond to about 10 to 20%, usually about 80%. Like, when you start doing this more and more and more and more and more, you can kind of just feel the energy quickly. Is this something that I want to even engage with or not? 25 out of 30, I don't feel a spark. I don't feel an energy. If it's someone that I really like and I'm in their group, it might be like 50%. I might be commenting on half of their posts, or maybe not more than that, but if it's someone that you really like and you have a really strong resonance, you might be commenting on like half of the page, 15 of the posts. So that's all you got to do, guys. And then you close out the pages very quickly. I don't mind telling you this because, this is the easy part. The easy part is, okay, all I got to do you know what I mean? Like a 7 out of 10 person will listen to what I'm saying, will think about what I'm saying, and then say, maybe he's right. 1 to 300 outbound comments a day means I'm going through maybe around like 500 to 1,000 posts a day, minimum, which means go through about 20 pages of groups. It can be any group. It could be 20 different groups, but just go through a page at a time. It doesn't take that long, you guys. You go through an entire page and then track your stats. Like, how many of the posts did I actually want to comment on? I think it's important, and I think it's useful for you to do this because you're going to be able to get your own percentages. How many of these 30 posts did I even think were interesting or worth responding to? Maybe it's 0. If it's consistently 0 out of 30, then leave the group. It's obviously not a good group to be in. You want to find groups that are worth commenting at least a few posts every page of posts. If you're not interested in commenting on any of the posts and you go like 2, 3, 4 pages back, I would just leave the group. I left like another 20 groups yesterday. I joined some AI groups just to because I'm a little curious about AI and tech, but I'm not that curious. And it's just like, I'm not feeling it in any of the AI groups. But if you are in AI or if you're in tech, then maybe those are the groups for you. But I don't even care about what they're saying. I'm looking for people that have a 7, 8, 9, or 10 out of 10 motivation to succeed in life, in anything, on school. That's my threshold. That is only about 10 to 20% of human beings in the world. Only about 10, 20% of human beings, guys, are actually motivated to succeed. You do know what I mean? So if I could build an AI or a tech that just muted the bottom, 80%, then that would be perfect, because then I would no longer have to dig. It would just show me. It would dig for me. If we could have AI just show me, and that's what the algorithms on social media try to do. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, they're trying to show you that top 10% of content that you might resonate with, but it's hard. It's hard, and who knows? And even still, we're still just swiping, scrolling. So if we could build some kind of tech that helped me figure out my 10% of people, I only really want to hang out with 10% of human beings. Because most people are bullshitters. Most people are dabblers. Most people are just on here for fun. and to get inspired and to, talk about silly shit. And, it's just like Facebook groups, like Facebook groups. Oh man, like I only resonate with like 3 to 5% of Facebook groups. Facebook's even worse. School is like 10 to 20%. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I'm looking for people that are already like motivated, that already like, go to the gym, read personal development books, want to go into high ticket sales, want to get clients, you know, like everybody who joins school, they think they're going to sell courses, or they think they're just going to get a lot of people to do a membership. And that's the thing, like it's going to take you years to get to that level, fucking years to get to that level. So if you want to make money off of school right now, you need to go high ticket. I paid a guy $1,000 for him to tell me that. I paid $1,000 for a mastermind just for them to tell me that. The most validating and the fastest level of success will be high ticket on school. You just create custom offers in the classroom at your high ticket price. So I've got offers for $500, $1,000, $2,000. I may make a $1,500 offer, but that's it. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, increments of 500. And then once I have enough sales, I'm going to raise it probably by another 500. So it'll now be 1,000, 15, 2,000, 25, right? I'll just keep raising it by 500. Like, I don't know, every X amount of clients or every X amount of money made, or I don't know, you can just kind of feel it, right? An intuition. Then it's time to raise the price. All right, anyways, I think that's good for today. Eagle, expansive Eagle on electric, Eagle is telling me just focus on that 20% of people, visualize connecting with them, visualize the conversations you're going to be having, visualize the calls that you're going to have with these people. You'll be able to feel it in your solar plexus. You'll be able to feel it in your soul. You'll have a gut feeling. This is somebody that I can work with, right? If it's not somebody that you feel like is going to really take you seriously, like you can still help them and it may be valuable, but just understand that they're probably not going to do that much. So don't expect like a grand slam out of this person. You never know. They may somehow just kick it into high gear and the 6 can become a 7. What did it take for me to become a 7? Like I'm going to call this episode the threshold of personal momentum, the threshold of pass or fail. I'm saying 7 is when you begin to pass, but 6 is failing. So for me to become a 7, I had to quit my sales job and I had to commit to being an entrepreneur. I had to really fucking commit to it. And it was terrifying, and I had to drive Uber and just do random jobs. And I was building all kinds of businesses. I was building an e-commerce store. I was trying out affiliate marketing. I was willing to plunge in and really go. I had to decide in my mind that I'm really going to go for it. So that's when I became a 7. So it took me a while to even have the confidence and the courage to become a 7. So that was my threshold, guys. So I'll conclude this episode with a question. Are you on that threshold of success? Are you willing to just really go for it? I'm not telling you to quit your job, but I'm saying like, you got to really fucking want to make this happen. Then let's partner up and let's chat and let's talk with each other. I do free calls, I do free collab calls and free mastermind calls. I teach you to do the same thing in your groups because it's good to just it's faster to just get to know people through a call than through DMs. And then, you just see what's the vibe, does this feel like someone that we could work with each other, or at least we'd even want to just hang out with each other, So I teach you 3 calls in my group. I teach you the collab call, I teach you the mastermind call, and then I teach you the sales call, which is called the discovery call. Collab call is not business. Collab call is just get to know somebody. You shouldn't pitch them. Don't pressure them to do anything. It's just friendly. Mastermind call is you seem to, I will mastermind with anybody who is a 7 or higher. If you are a 7 or higher, I will mastermind with you for free just because Sevens, eights, nines, and tens can amplify each other's energy much more. But a six, a five, a four, three, two, one, they're going to drain your energy. So what I'm trying to say is a seven for you, they're going to energize you just by being around them. Even better if it's an eight, nine, or 10. They're going to really give you a lot of energy. But sevens, eights, nines, and tens are like the threshold of positivity and like motivation. Like they will give you energy. They will give each other energy. Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone will experience an enhanced energy level by being around each other. But if it's a six or less, they're going to drain your energy. So that last lady, she was definitely like a six or maybe even a five. It was draining my energy, man. And I could feel just, such a block in her. I don't know how to, just a dead kind of block in the solar plexus, like a depressed kind of mind, like a mind that's given up in life. That's what I felt. And I was like, oh man, you'd have to really pay me a lot to try to help you become a seven because it's a lot. You got a lot of work cut out for you, man. All right, guys. So my homework for you is to identify your positivity threshold. It's good to set a minimum requirement for the clients that you want to work with. Because if you don't do this, you're going to attract people who are interested in you, but it may cost you so much energy, guys. It may be so draining. You don't want clients that drain you. You want it to be a mutually beneficial arrangement, is what I'm saying. That's my homework for you today. Maybe comment and let me know what you think about this. How would you put all of this in your own words? Comment on this video and say, my minimum threshold is XYZ. Have a beautiful day, guys. Much love. Hope you have an awesome, successful, productive day today.